Hi, this is Sarah, the Stitchin Mommy, and it's Monday, April 10th, 2023, here for my weekly cross-stitching update. This week, we'll be talking about 2 weeks worth of cross-stitching because I didn't film last week. The last 2 weeks were very busy in real life, and we stayed local. My kids had spring break last week. One of them had like a week and a half, just lots of stuff. So we were busy most days. I stitched a little bit. I didn't watch hardly any Flosstube, so I feel kind of out of the loop. But I feel like I'm kind of tired today too. So I feel like coming here and just getting back into the routine, sharing everything, all my goodies will reinvigorate my love of stitching, get back at it. Because I'm kind of feeling a little bit not stitchy right now. So let's get started and maybe this will help. So first we'll do my travel stitching, which will always start with the temperature piece. And I'm doing this at temperature quicker. One of my designs, since I've been gone through the end of March, so I finished the whole March thing and I came over here and started April, so that's fun. Here is where this is at. This is 25 count vintage cloth in the color Prim, 1/1 full cross. And yeah, so I finished all of March. March is exclusively blues and purples, which is kind of crazy to me. But here we see in April, we are starting to get some of that coolest green. We had that a couple times in February as well. I think it's 72 as the high, which is kind of unusual for here. However, yesterday was like mid-80s, the hottest day of the year so far, and today and tomorrow is supposed to be warm as well. So the warm colors are coming, although it's kind of a shock to the system because it's been cool for so long compared to typical years where you get out your, actual shoes and a sweater for a week. We've had kind of cold temperatures for 3 or 4 months, so it's been very strange for us. Welcome strange, but strange nonetheless. So my main travel stitching has been antique shoe collection. I was trying to finish up the March goal I have for this in March. That didn't happen. It's still not done. This whole border around here was started and I wanted to get it done. I didn't have very consistent travel stitching. I didn't have very much travel stitching. I worked on this whenever I could, but it just wasn't very much. And there's a lot of stitching in there. It's simple, but there's a lot of it. So I have progress. But I think now that the first week of April is over, I'm going to go ahead and move into my Advent animals for my Whipco board, finish those up, and if I have time at the end of the month, I'll come back to this. Probably keep going on the border before I start in on April's chunk. I think that's what I want to do. So this is one of my oldest whips. It's currently in the oldest whip category. All the kit items. This is 14 count, antique white Ada, 2/1 full cross. So you can see that border is getting there. The black is all done. The gray is mostly done. It's kind of down to here and to here. So there's a little bit more gray to finish. Not a little bit, it's a decent amount. And then I started backstitching, one length of backstitching along here. And it's subtle, but I think it helps, especially on the stair step, making it crisp. So I'm gonna go ahead and do it. It just takes a while. And there's some gold metallic that kind of this bow hangs on. And yeah, I think I'm gonna wait on, I think I mentioned this before, I'm probably gonna wait on all that metallic till the end, just because it's not regular thread and it's really long stitch. It's like this really thick stuff that I don't think we separate. So I'm gonna go ahead and just leave it till the end because I don't want it to get caught on stuff, and especially since it's a long stitch, it's not, yeah. So that's my plan on that one. So it'll look like the bow is floating for a while, but it's okay. So I'm gonna put that away for now and I'll bring it back out hopefully at the end of the month. I did a tiny bit on Pearly Pig a couple times. This is my first WhipGo Advent Animal here in the month of April. I have these all on my WhipGo board, so the order I work on them is kind of random. I can throw that away. Here is where I got to on Pearly Pig. Just a little bit. This is 18 count light blue Ada, 2/1, full cross. And I like to color complete, so I'm picking symbols from the top down. And I realized last night when I was working on this darker pink that there is a medium pink in here where her like hands come together that I had forgotten. So I'll go back and do that too once I finish this dark pink color. Then I'll move on to the next color. So these are super fun, fairly fast to do. So hopefully I can get back to these and knock these out pretty quickly and then get back to antique shoe collection before the end of the month. I don't anticipate I'll finish this before the end of the week, so I don't feel like I need to show you the other one, but I think I showed you, which one was it? I don't remember. Whichever one I was supposed to do next. Odette Owl. I showed you the starting point 2 weeks ago, so if for some reason I'll get to that next week, I do have a before picture already, so that's fine. Flea Market Flowers. I did work on a little bit. I think I worked on this twice since I saw you last. Perhaps. Maybe not. Maybe I don't know. We'll see. This is Flea Market Flowers by Lori Holt, Be in My Bonnet. You can find it at the Fat Quarter Shop. I would love to finish this year. This is probably more of a goal than Antique Shoe Collection to get this one done. So this is more likely. It's a little bit less stitching. So this is my block for April that I'm currently working on. And I may have only worked on this once, possibly twice. I can't remember. Oh, it's in the bag too. So this is also on 25 count vintage cloth. This is the color Barley. Also 1/1. Yeah, I think I showed you the borders last time. So this time I worked on this past Friday and I got all the gray petals finished. I got the pink center stitched, these green bars for the stems. So I started out doing the stem in here. I still had more on my needle, so I did more stem in this block, which will be May's. Then I had more on my needle and I came down to do this one. I don't think this one might be just a flower. So this was the next highest occurrence of that color, just to use up my string. That's kind of how I'm working this one. Focusing in on the block I'm at hand, and then if I need to, I'll use a string up elsewhere. So assuming there's not a lot of counting, because some of these colors were farther down here and I didn't want to count that far. So this also has some gray in here too, light gray. So there's some leaves to do in there, which shouldn't take too long. Then I can work on Antique Shoe Collection during any more calls with my sister once April's done, because April's kind of getting close to finished already. And we still have 3 more. Yeah, 3 more Fridays, although this next Friday I will be at a retreat. So I won't be stitching with my sister that day. Stitchinanigans, Las Vegas 2023 is going to be on the 21st, 22nd, and 23rd, and I'm so excited, Lord willing, that's the plan. I think there might be a couple spots left, so if you are anywhere near or can get here, come join us. So you can find that on 1884 Stitchery's website if you want to look into that. So maybe next week I'll talk about my plans, like what I'm planning to bring and work on at the retreat. So where's my thing? I did work on Honeybee a little bit 2 weeks ago. I did not work on it this Monday. I'm pretty sure this Monday was very busy. And my family visiting, we played lots of board games. It was great. But I did work on this on the 27th of March. And I think I did yellow and maybe, yeah, 1 strand of yellow. So very, very little. This is all the perforated paper, 14 count, everything. There's a little bit of yellow that was needed to the center of this flower, and then I just finished out my string. That's it. Not a whole lot, but this is fun. And I had a comment about this piece. I am doing it with 2 strands on the 14 count perforated paper. My buttons and beads kits that I have had so far recommend 2 strands. So I know I've heard of people who have Mill Hill kits that recommend 3 strands. And I think from what I'm not positive, but from what I've gathered, those tend to be the smaller, like ornament, magnet type size pieces. And the buttons and beads ones that I've seen all say 2 strands. So 2 strands is nice coverage. I don't mind it at all. And if you have a kit that says 2 strands, for sure do 2 strands, because you probably don't have enough thread to do 4. Or three strands. But if you have a kit that says 3 strands and you would rather do 2 strands, you totally could. Totally could. I think it's fine. Coverage is decent. So there's my 2 cents on that. Okay, I think, oh, since I saw you last, it looks like I finished a Advent animal that I forgot to share. Because it's been so long, I didn't realize I hadn't showed it already. So let's do that. Rudolph Reindeer I finished Tuesday, the 28th. So here is this one. Same 18 count light blue Ada that the other one was on. So yeah, super cute, lots of little details. This one had a little bit less stitching, I think, but it was a little bit more fiddly. So I guess you take it or leave it. Sometimes it's more solid, sometimes it's more fiddly. So that's a cute one. So I finished that one since I've been back here on a video. So I'll make sure to show you everything. All right. I think that's all my travel stitching. So let's jump in with what I've been doing regular stitching wise. Oh, I guess I could also do my bonus stitching. I did a little bit on my letter F Fairy by Nora Corbett. This is, I think I only did 1 length of thread on this. That was just a couple days ago, but it's worth sharing. Too busy most days to do an extra project. So I just stuck with getting anything on my main project for the day. But I did do a little bit of this a couple days ago. I had a little bit of extra time. So this is on the called for 32 count water lily linen, 2/2 full cross for everything. And I'm color converting it myself. So I did 1 length of brown. So I did a little bit over here to finish out this section in brown and then came down here with the brown. So that's it. But it was nice to make some progress. Next time, I'm hoping this week I might start getting back into my normal groove and have a little bit of time in the afternoons to do a length of thread every day-ish. So we'll see. There's like a couple more shades of this tealy bits in here, plus some back stitching and beads, which I don't know if I'll get to the beads or not, but these colors are also in here. There's more brown down here. So at the very least, I'd like to do some more cross stitching on this one. And we'll see. We'll see if I do any back stitching or beads. See how much time I have. Because I do want to kind of get this done. I have more of these to do before too long here, so I don't want this to take too long to get finished. This niece graduates this June, so it's coming up. I already have a frame for it, so that's good. Okay, so first off, I worked on Dragon Ride for a day, and it doesn't look like even this was all that much, but here's Dragon Ride by Teresa Wentzler. And I was kind of working on this I was in the mood to work on the border. So that's what I did. I went ahead and pulled out one long, probably 4-foot length of a blend, and then just worked it in a lot of the border. So I think the top border might be completely back, cross-stitched. We'll see. Almost completely, it looks like. So here is Dragon Ride, 28 count light blue even weave by MCG Textiles. And it's mostly 2/2. The man is charted 1/1. Lots of fractionals, lots of blends, and I worked up here in the border. Got that like light yellow color filled in all across the top. So I'm ready to do, see there's a little gap right here as well. So I do have that color left, but for that, other than that, the top border is cross-stitched. So then I can come back through and complete it like this, where there's 2 different kinds of back stitching and then some beads. So it's a really pretty border. It's just got layers of stuff. So that's fun. I'll bring that back out again in May. That's the plan anyways. Give it at least a day every month if I can. And then I moved on to Cherry Kitten and was kind of disappointed in how much I got done on this. I was enjoying it, but when I added them all up, it was not as much as I thought. It was total 974 stitches over the 5-day rotation, which is not even to 1,000. And there were some days I got a decent amount, but there were enough days that weren't very good, I guess, that it didn't end up being as much. But it was still fun, still a decent amount of progress, just a consequence of a busy season. And that's just kind of life. So this is by Artisy. This is a no background version. It's charted that way. There's also a version that is charted with background if you want it to look like puffy blue clouds. This is on a Pull Stitches fabric, 28 count in Cosmos. It's an even weave, 1/1 full cross. So here's where I got to. I am pretty pleased with what I was able to get done. I got the top 2 rows of stitches, I'm pretty sure, completely finished, which is cool. So the tip of the ear was all of the first row, and then kind of through here was the second row, and it's all done. So that's fun. And then wherever those colors, ended up throughout here, I worked them in. Still a lot left to go, but it is a cute piece. So I'm glad I worked on that for a little bit. Then we kind of hop, skip, and jump. I worked on this Tuesday the 28th, Wednesday the 29th, Thursday the 30th, Friday the 31st. And then I moved on to, it was April 1st, so I pulled this out for my bonus stitching. The Finery of Nature, it's Dimensions Gold Kit. I had received this for my birthday, I think, last year, and then E-Crafting in Colorado started a sale. So I'm like, well, I should jump in, just because it's either that, jump in and participate once a month, or let it sit in my closet for the next decade and not work on it. So I figured this is better than nothing. So I started in the middle a couple months ago, worked my way up. So I was kind of up in here, and I worked on 2 strands of blue-green and 1 strand of yellow-green. So 3 strands total, and it was all like greenery in here. And my strands are shorter than maybe I might do off of my bobbin, because it's kit floss, which is I think probably cut to 1 yard, and then I'm loop starting it on this. So it's an 18-inch length, and on 14 count, that goes real fast. I'm used to my like 28/1, 25/1, and so I'm like, oh yeah, I've got like 100 stitches in 1 strand, and now it's like 40. So it's a lot, or 25, I don't know. It's a lot different. So here we go. This is where I got to on this one. It is 14 count Black Ada. And I did not do any back stitching. I wasn't really in the mood for that. I just wanted to keep it simple. So I did this a second color through here, which was 2 strands of that blue-green color. So this corner is done except for backstitching. And then I came over here and worked this lighter yellow-green, which was also a little bit down here. There's more of this down here, but that was as long as the string went. So yeah, that's my progress from the April 1st. So May 1st, I'll probably keep going over here and work on the flowers because those are fun. Pink flowers, that'll be pretty. So this is fun to work on every little bit. The stitch along is intended to be every 1st of the month, and I'm just doing bonus stitching on the 1st of the month. So whatever I have in the afternoon, a half hour, 45 minutes, that kind of thing, and then I'll work on my main piece later. Because I'd already had all my plans all laid out for the whole year, and then I kind of threw this in there on the top. So it just gets some bonus stitching on the 1st every month. And then Sunday, the 2nd, and yesterday, the 9th, sort of, I worked on Spring Montage. It's my seasonal Sunday piece. And last Sunday, my parents visited, but they were later arriving than sometimes. So I did have some time to stitch. I got 118 stitches, so just enough to consider it a progress. I like to get at least 100 stitches, or I feel like I didn't even work on it. Guess what I got done yesterday? 28. So I feel like I didn't work on it yesterday. I wasn't really in the mood to work on it this morning, but I may come back to this either today or tomorrow to kind of round out the 100 stitches that I should have gotten yesterday, to make it feel like I got a full day's work on it yesterday. So here's Spring Montage, the full coverage version by Pain Free Crafts, artwork by Janet Stieber. These are also found in some Janlin kits and that you can still find. So depending on the size or detail that you want, you can work on these montages in different ways. This one is pretty, but the colors, especially in the top, are a little bit bland. So maybe that's part of why I'm just like, and there's a lot of confetti. So it's kind of a struggle to get into it. But I was just working in the top 10 by 10 square, picking symbols, and I finished the top 10 by 10 square, which is something. And I have another color on my needle, but I just wasn't in the mood to work on it yet this morning. So maybe this afternoon, or I could work on my mill hill today too though. So if I have time, I'll try to round this out and get another like 80 stitches to make it feel like yesterday wasn't a lost cause. Happy Easter, by the way. Yesterday was Easter. We did family things and it was good, just not stitching. So this is Spring Montage 28 count mushroom even weave, Lugana, I think, 1/1 full cross. So this top 10 by 10 square is completely finished, which kind of lets you see more of the flowers and stems and things. Very confetti heavy. So, but I am being consistent. Now I'm working, I just picked a symbol in the second 10 by 10 square that was not yet done. So I feel like stitching that way for me helps me avoid decision fatigue, picking what symbol to do next. And it also helps me tackle the confetti without delaying it, I guess. Because if I were left to my own devices, I might be like, I don't have a lot of time, so I'm just gonna do these colors, only have big chunks of color, and then I'll have to go back in later and do all the confetti, which is, nobody wants to do only confetti. I mean, some people may want to do that. But this way, it's kind of like, I let the chart tell me what to work on next, and I just do it. And the confetti and the larger blocks of color kind of mingle together, and I go back and forth, and I can see stuff starting to come together, completed sooner. So that, I like how that's been going. So hopefully I'll get a little bit more done on that here soon. And then before I come back and talk to you again, I should have another proper Sunday to work on it. So hopefully you'll see a little bit more done. I'll keep working on that all the Sundays in April. So hopefully I'll get some traction on it. This past Monday, I worked on Visit Endor. My parents were here, but I did get some time. I forget when. Maybe when my son was out running, or I think when he went to practice, and then there were naps and I stitched. So I got 120 half stitches. So it was not a lot, but it was basically one length of thread. I may or may not have finished my thread. I guess we'll see here. This is by Country Magic Stitch. I believe she might have her own website now. She was on Etsy when I got this, but oh, still have some string. So I didn't even finish my string. But here is where I got to. This is 28 count Dove Gray Monaco, 2/1 half stitches. And I just worked down here this slightly lighter shade of green that highlights the edge of the tree. And I have like this 2-strand chunk keeps going, but I felt like this would be more fun and a little bit easier to count. So I popped over there and did the branches. So that's it. So not a lot, but it feels like something because it was more than 100 stitches. I feel like if it's less than that, it doesn't feel like I did anything. Okay. Tuesday, the 4th. Did I work on this any other day? I did pick up the roundels on the 1st as well. I forgot to show that, but I finished this one on the 4th. So I only worked on this 2 different days, and not even my only stitching on those days. So that was pretty quick. One of the times I was kind of shadowing my daughter. Well, she was participating in the game, and she wants this and hanging up in her room. So maybe I'll actually fully finish it someday and let her have it in her room to display. So here is the tulip version of the Spring Roundels by Barbara Jackson. This was part of a class that I was gifted 2 years ago, because they all say 2021 on the date. I had to kind of squeeze in the 3 by squeezing everything together. There's only a half stitch in between each letter instead of a full stitch, just to make sure it all fit in there. So yeah, all done. And none of these are cross stitches. They're all other things. So that was kind of fun. And it's using silk that came with the kit, and it was cute and small, but I don't feel the need to do the rest of them at the moment. I'm not even necessarily, I think the silks are prettier than this picture. I'm not really into this one. I love the pink, so I'll definitely do this one at some point in the future, but yeah. So for now, this is done. I think on my spreadsheet, I'll take this out of my WIP list and put it in my kitted list. Finished and kitted, perhaps. I don't even know. So anyways, because then if I come across, I want to start something small in the future, I can always pull this out and do that one later. But for now, that one's done. No more WIP. And I was able to work on, that was my focus on a finished piece for April. And then I got to move on to my Fancy Lady bonus piece for April if I finished the first one, which I did. So this one is Enchanted Alphabet by Lavender and Lace. And I have decided to take the little girl out because I just was not interested in stitching her, and kind of shift everything over. And I was playing around with it this week and a half ago, I guess. Realized the P is way down here, and it should be long in here because of the way the alphabet flows. So I moved the P up and had to rechart the colors in the P to kind of match what was around them up here instead of down here. So I think I did an okay job, and I think I'm past the point where I need my like personal charting to kind of blend the blending together. So now I can go back to using the original pattern, just go this way and this way to finish it up. So I have this, I worked on this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days already. Part of the first day was finishing the spring roundels and then getting started on this one. I'm hoping to get 5 days on it this week as well. So hopefully that'll be some good progress. It will not get done here in the month of April. I was kind of dreaming big that might happen, but I doubt it. But I will get really nice progress and set it up nice to maybe work on and possibly finish next year. So we'll see. This is my progress so far. This is, I think, 46 count Society Time linen. It's shrunk a little, so it's more like a 50 count. And it's 1/2 full cross with all the called for DMC. And I had all of this done before. I frogged my O and restitched it because of the way it flowed. It worked better to be like up and over a little bit. And then I added the P and most of the Q. This is part of the R. Did some charting, did some playing with colors, and I feel like it's coming together. So now I think I'll keep going this way. I'm also working on this with Dawn, Frosty X Stitch, and she started with the M and is going this way. So I think at least for April, I think it'll be fun to head this way. So we're working on different stuff. That'll be fun. So yeah, and I will still include the bunny down here, and there's like a little patch of flowers that I duplicated, so I'll have an extra patch of flowers to kind of fill up the gap where the girl used to be. I think it'll be fine. So that's cute. I really like the letters, and so I want them to be the main focus of that piece. So hopefully that'll get some good attention now that I'm not messing around with the charting anymore and I'm just stitching it. I think it'll go a little faster, and it'll be fun to see how many letters I can get through. That's everything. I think that's everything I worked on. I have one more piece to show for my plans, because everything in my plans is the same as what I just showed you, except for this one. So I'm going to be working on my Simpsons piece for my husband. This is a chart I got off of eBay. It was a very poor quality paper chart, and then I recharted it in symbol by symbol in Pattern Keeper, or in my computer program, and then now it's in Pattern Keeper. Woohoo! This is 40 count Vertical, 1/1, half cross. And this is my starting point. So I hope to give this some time today, and maybe also my Mill Hill kit for a little bit this afternoon. And then I will hope to do some work on my spring montage and my letter F fairy as like bonus stitching throughout the rest of the week, and Enchanted alphabet for all my regular stitching, and spring montage on Sunday. So that's kind of my plan. Kind of boring stitching wise or plans wise, but I hope to be back on Monday, share my, what I managed to get done and plans for next week, which will include a retreat. So I'll probably have a few extra pieces that wouldn't normally be in my plans, because you gotta have some variety when you're at retreat, right? Like I'll probably take my official piece, which will be my full coverage, no background piece. Let's see. I'll just share it because I want to talk about it. It's this butterfly rose cross that I'm stitching on some hand-dyed fabric. So I'll probably take this one with me because I have this one planned next week all the way through Saturday. So I'll try to get some work on this done at the retreat. I'll take my travel stitching, of course. And I think I'm also going to take my Those Who Sing by the Drawn Thread, because I worked on that. I started it for Colette's birthday, the highway stitcher, and she's coming to the retreat too. We'll be roommates, and I figured it made sense to bring that one. And I might bring along some of the other ones that we have together, like Cross Stitch Fun, and maybe, I don't know what else we have. We have a lot of things together. We have a Soda Stitch one together, a Time to Myself. So I'll have to see what she wants to bring. And maybe we can, at the very least, I might bring some of those to share and compare notes. And then, yeah, I think, maybe the Fairy Tale Village by Abris Art. I might bring that because Julie Stitching in the Cabin is working on that, and she's coming. So we'll have to see. I might bring a lot of things. I'm not sure what I'll actually work on. So we'll see. I tend to still stitch a decent amount. I've only been to one retreat before and I got a lot of stitching done because I'm not particularly social, I'm rather shy. So feel free to come up and talk to me if you recognize me, and I'll be friendly. I just may not initiate too many conversations. But yeah, it should be fun, and hopefully I'll have some nice stitching time this week. Haven't done any quilting. It's been too busy for that. I'm not sure if this, I don't know. I'm really far behind on that quilt with the fat quarter shop, but that's life, right? So in the meantime, I hope you have a wonderful week, whatever you're working on. Enjoy your weather where you are. If you can, get outside, enjoy some sunshine. And with that, happy stitching. Bye.